Welcome to a gentle exploration of how gaming will transform by 2035, focusing on one of the most fascinating developments in interactive entertainment. Bio-adaptive games that read your emotional state and adjust themselves in real time to create optimal psychological experiences. This is a journey into the intersection of technology and human psychology, where the goal isn't just entertainment, but the cultivation of mental wellness and the achievement of flow states. If you enjoy this type of content, a like or a subscription is always appreciated. It helps our small corner of the internet grow. I invite you to share your own thoughts in the comments below. Before we venture into the future, let's establish our foundation by understanding what we mean by flow states and why they matter so profoundly for human well-being. Flow, as defined by psychologist Mahai Csikszentmihalyi, represents those precious moments when we become completely absorbed in an activity. Time seems to either slow down or disappear entirely. Self-consciousness fades away. We feel simultaneously challenged and capable, pushed to our limits while remaining firmly in control. It's a state of effortless concentration, where action and awareness merge into a seamless experience. Think about the last time you experienced flow. Perhaps you were reading a captivating book, solving a complex puzzle, playing a musical instrument, or yes, playing a particularly well-designed game. In those moments, the outside world seemed to fade away. You weren't thinking about your problems, your schedule, or your anxieties. You were simply present, engaged, and deeply satisfied by the activity itself. This is the psychological gold standard that bioadaptive games of 2035 will consistently deliver. Current gaming already provides glimpses of flow states, but achieving them remains largely accidental and inconsistent. A game might be too easy, leaving us bored and disengaged. It might be too difficult, creating frustration and stress rather than the pleasant challenge we seek. Even when a game achieves the perfect balance, that balance is static, designed for an average player rather than adapted to your specific psychological state in this particular moment. The gaming landscape of 2025 relies primarily on manual difficulty settings, predetermined progression curves, and one-size-fits-all design philosophies. Players must adapt themselves to the game's fixed parameters rather than the game adapting to their psychological needs. This creates a hit-or-miss experience where flow states, when they occur, are brief and fragile, easily disrupted by a difficulty spike or a poorly timed challenge. Consider how this limitation affects our relationship with digital entertainment. Many of us have experienced the frustration of a game that starts perfectly but gradually becomes either too repetitive or overwhelmingly difficult. We felt the disappointment of losing immersion just as we were beginning to enter that coveted flow state. We've struggled with games that fail to account for our changing moods, energy levels, or stress states throughout different times of day or periods of our lives. Bioadaptive gaming technology promises to revolutionize this experience by creating systems that understand you as an individual, learning your psychological patterns, and responding to your emotional needs in real time. Imagine a game that can sense when you're feeling stressed and automatically adjusts its pace to be more soothing. Picture an adventure that recognizes when you're seeking mental stimulation and gradually increases complexity to match your cognitive appetite. Envision interactive stories that adapt their emotional tone based on your current psychological state, offering comfort when you need it or gentle excitement when you're ready for engagement. This isn't science fiction, it's the natural evolution of technologies that already exist today. Biometric sensors and smartwatches can detect stress levels through heart rate variability. Devices can monitor brainwave patterns associated with different mental states. Eye tracking technology can reveal cognitive load and attention patterns. Machine learning algorithms can already predict human behavior with remarkable accuracy. The convergence of these technologies with gaming represents one of the most promising developments in both entertainment and mental health. The implications extend far beyond entertainment. As we'll explore throughout this gentle journey, bioadaptive gaming has the potential to serve as a tool for stress management, cognitive training, therapeutic intervention, and even meditation. When games can reliably induce flow states, they become powerful instruments for mental wellness, offering accessible ways to achieve the psychological benefits that flow provides: reduced anxiety, increased focus, enhanced creativity, and a deep sense of satisfaction and well-being. As we prepare to explore this fascinating future, it's important to approach these concepts with both excitement and mindfulness. The goal isn't to create more addictive or manipulative entertainment, but rather to develop technology that genuinely serves human psychological needs. The bioadaptive games of 2035 will be designed with ethical principles at their core, prioritizing player well-being over engagement metrics, fostering healthy relationships with technology rather than dependency. Throughout our exploration, we'll maintain a focus on the gentle, supportive nature of these future systems. These aren't technologies that control or manipulate, but rather tools that listen, understand, and respond with care to human psychological needs. They represent a shift from games that challenge us to overcome them, toward games that work collaboratively with us to create optimal experiences. As we continue our gentle exploration into the future of gaming, let's delve deeper into how current technology is already laying the groundwork for the bioadaptive systems that will define gaming in 2035. Understanding this foundation helps us appreciate the natural evolution rather than sudden revolution that these systems represent. Today's gaming already incorporates rudimentary forms of player state detection, though these systems remain relatively simple compared to what's coming. Modern games can track your play patterns, noting when you pause frequently, when you replay sections multiple times, or when you abandon a game entirely. Some titles adjust their suggestions or offer hint systems based on these behavioral cues. However, these are reactive rather than predictive systems, responding to problems after they've already disrupted your experience rather than preventing disruption altogether. The key difference in bioadaptive gaming lies in the shift from behavioral analysis to physiological understanding. Instead of waiting for you to demonstrate frustration through your actions, future systems will detect the onset of stress through subtle changes in your heart rate, skin conductance, or brainwave patterns. This early detection allows for proactive adjustments that maintain your flow state rather than recovering from its loss. Consider the current state of biometric technology that makes this possible. Heart rate variability, for instance, provides a remarkably accurate window into your autonomic nervous system state. When you're relaxed and in flow, your heart rate variability follows specific patterns that indicate optimal arousal levels. As stress begins to build, these patterns shift in predictable ways, often before you're consciously aware of the change. A bioadaptive game monitoring these patterns could respond by subtly reducing challenge complexity, offering more guidance, or shifting to more calming visual and auditory elements. Similarly, electroencephalography, EEG technology has become increasingly sophisticated and accessible. Modern EEG devices can detect the specific brainwave patterns associated with different cognitive and emotional states. Alpha waves, for example, are associated with relaxed awareness and creative flow states. Beta waves indicate active concentration and problem solving. Theta waves suggest deep relaxation or meditative states. By monitoring these patterns, games can understand not just whether you're stressed or relaxed, but what type of mental state would best serve your current psychological needs. Eye tracking technology adds another layer of understanding to this physiological picture. The way your eyes move, the duration of your fixations, and the patterns of your visual attention all provide insights into your cognitive load and emotional state. When you're in flow, eye movements tend to be smooth and purposeful. When experiencing cognitive overload, eye movements become more erratic and searching. When feeling understimulated, visual attention may wander or become unfocused. These patterns give bioadaptive games real-time feedback about the effectiveness of their current challenge level and presentation style. The integration of these technologies creates a comprehensive picture of your psychological state that goes far beyond what any human game designer could detect or respond to manually. The systems of 2035 will process this information through sophisticated artificial intelligence that understands the subtle relationships between physiological indicators and optimal gaming experiences. Machine learning algorithms will be trained on vast data sets of player experiences, learning to recognize the complex patterns that precede flow states, stress responses, boredom, and optimal challenge levels. These systems will understand that the same physiological indicators might mean different things for different individuals, or even for the same individual at different times. Your optimal challenge level when you're well-rested and focused will be different from your needs when you're tired or anxious, and bioadaptive games will adjust accordingly. The beauty of these systems lies in their subtlety. Rather than making dramatic, noticeable changes that might break immersion, bioadaptive games will make gentle, gradual adjustments that feel natural and organic. A puzzle game might subtly adjust the complexity of upcoming challenges, making them slightly more or less intricate based on your current cognitive state. An adventure game might modify the pacing of story revelations, offering more contemplative moments when it detects stress or more engaging challenges when it senses you're ready for stimulation. Environmental elements within games will become particularly responsive to emotional states. The lighting might become slightly warmer and softer when stress is detected, promoting relaxation. Background music could shift to more calming frequencies and rhythms. The game's color palette might adjust subtly to colors known to promote the desired psychological state. These changes operate below the threshold of conscious awareness while significantly impacting your emotional experience. The feedback loops in bioadaptive systems will be continuous and dynamic. Unlike current games that make one-time difficulty adjustments, these systems will constantly monitor and adjust, creating a flowing, responsive experience that evolves moment by moment with your psychological state. This creates a form of technological empathy, where the game genuinely understands and responds to your needs as they change throughout your play session. This technological foundation represents more than just an advancement in gaming. It's a step toward a more harmonious relationship between humans and digital systems. Instead of forcing ourselves to adapt to rigid technological constraints, we're developing technology that adapts to our human nature, supporting our psychological well-being rather than challenging it. As we move forward in our exploration, we'll see how this foundation of emotional understanding enables increasingly sophisticated and beneficial gaming experiences, from stress reduction and cognitive enhancement to therapeutic applications and beyond. The magic of bioadaptive gaming lies not just in its ability to detect your emotional state, but in how it transforms that information into seamless, supportive adjustments that enhance your experience without disrupting it. This requires a sophisticated architecture of real-time adaptation that operates like a gentle, invisible hand guiding your journey through digital worlds. At the heart of this system is what we might call the emotional response engine, a sophisticated AI that processes multiple streams of biometric data simultaneously. This engine doesn't simply react to individual data points, but interprets patterns across multiple indicators to understand the deeper psychological context of your current state. It recognizes that a slightly elevated heart rate might indicate excitement in one context and anxiety in another, using additional information like skin conductance, breathing patterns, and brainwave activity to make nuanced interpretations. The adaptation process happens in layers, each operating at different temporal scales. The immediate layer responds to momentary fluctuations in your state, making subtle adjustments to environmental elements like music tempo, lighting warmth, or visual complexity. These changes happen continuously, almost like breathing, ensuring that the game's atmosphere remains perfectly attuned to your psychological needs. The short-term layer operates over minutes, adjusting mechanical elements like puzzle complexity, enemy behavior patterns, or narrative pacing. If the system detects building frustration over several minutes, it might gradually reduce the precision required for gameplay actions or introduce more forgiving timing windows. Conversely, if it senses you're finding the experience too easy and your engagement is waning, it can incrementally increase challenge levels to restore optimal arousal. The medium-term layer works across entire play sessions, learning your patterns and preferences to optimize the overall arc of your experience. It might recognize that you typically experience peak flow states about 20 minutes into a session, or that you prefer more contemplative content in the evening hours. This layer ensures that the game's structure aligns with your natural rhythms and preferences. The adaptation algorithms themselves are designed with principles of psychological safety at their core. Rather than seeking to maximize engagement at any cost, they prioritize maintaining healthy psychological states. The system includes built-in safeguards that prevent pushing players toward unhealthy stress levels or exploiting psychological vulnerabilities. When the system detects signs of genuine distress or fatigue, it actively guides toward calming, restorative experiences rather than attempting to maintain high levels of engagement. One of the most elegant aspects of this adaptation system is its handling of challenge curves. Traditional games rely on predetermined difficulty progressions that may or may not align with any individual player's needs. Bioadaptive games create truly personalized challenge curves that adjust not just to your skill level, but to your current capacity for challenge based on your psychological state. These dynamic challenge curves operate on the principle of the zone of proximal development, a concept from educational psychology that describes the space between what you can do easily and what you cannot do at all. Bioadaptive games continuously calibrate their challenges to keep you in this optimal zone, where tasks are neither too easy nor too difficult, but perfectly matched to your current capabilities and psychological state. The system accomplishes this through what researchers call graceful degradation and elegant escalation. When stress indicators suggest you're approaching your limits, the game doesn't simply reduce difficulty in obvious ways that might feel patronizing. Instead, it makes subtle adjustments, perhaps providing more environmental cues to guide decision-making, or restructuring challenges to align better with your current cognitive strengths, while de-emphasizing areas where you might struggle. Environmental storytelling becomes a particularly powerful tool in bioadaptive systems. The game can adjust not just what happens in the narrative, but how it's presented and paced. A tense story moment might be softened with more contemplative visual elements and gentler audio design when the system detects stress, while the same narrative beat might be presented with more dramatic flair when you're in an optimal state to handle emotional intensity. The visual and auditory adaptation systems work together to create what might be called synesthetic comfort, a harmonious sensory environment that supports your psychological state. Colors shift subtly across spectrums known to influence mood and arousal. Warmer tones promote relaxation and comfort, while cooler tones can enhance focus and clarity. The saturation and contrast of visual elements adjust to prevent overstimulation during sensitive periods, while maintaining engagement when you're ready for more intense visual experiences. Audio adaptation extends beyond simple volume control to encompass the entire sonic landscape of the game. Frequency distributions shift to emphasize calming lower frequencies when relaxation is needed, or to include more stimulating higher frequencies when gentle activation would be beneficial. Rhythm patterns in music and sound effects align with optimal heart rate variability patterns, effectively entraining your physiological state toward desired outcomes. The spatial design of game environments also responds to your psychological state. When the system detects need for calm and security, virtual spaces might become more enclosed and intimate, with warmer lighting and softer textures. When you're ready for exploration and growth, environments might open up, become more vibrant, and offer more distant vistas that invite forward movement. Perhaps most importantly, all these adaptations happen transparently, without breaking the fourth wall or making you consciously aware of the system's interventions. The goal is to create an experience that feels naturally responsive and perfectly suited to your needs, rather than obviously artificial or manipulated. One of the most remarkable capabilities of bioadaptive gaming systems lies in their ability to create narratives that respond dynamically to your emotional state, crafting stories that breathe and flow with your psychological needs in real time. This represents a fundamental shift from linear storytelling toward what we might call empathetic narrative, where the story itself becomes a responsive companion in your emotional journey. Traditional game narratives follow predetermined paths with fixed emotional beats, regardless of the player's current psychological state. A tense action sequence occurs when the script demands it, whether you're feeling anxious and need calm or feeling understimulated and ready for excitement. Bioadaptive narratives, by contrast, understand that the same story content can have vastly different psychological impacts depending on your current emotional state, and they adjust accordingly. The foundation of dynamic narrative adaptation lies in understanding emotional storytelling patterns and their physiological correlates. Researchers have mapped how different narrative elements, tension, resolution, mystery, revelation, conflict, harmony, typically affect human emotional states. Bioadaptive systems use this knowledge to select and present story elements that complement rather than clash with your current psychological needs. When biometric monitoring indicates elevated stress levels, the narrative engine might choose to emphasize story elements that promote calm and restoration. A quest that could be presented as an urgent rescue mission might instead be framed as a contemplative journey to help someone in need. The same objective is achieved, but the emotional framing shifts to support your psychological state. Environmental storytelling reinforces this shift, with calmer visual presentation, more soothing audio design, and gentler pacing of story revelations. Conversely, when the system detects that you're in an optimal state for engagement and mild challenge, it might present the same content with more dramatic stakes and intensity. The rescue becomes urgent, obstacles feel more consequential, and the emotional investment is heightened to match your capacity for engagement. This isn't about changing the fundamental story, but about presenting it in the emotional register that best serves your current needs. The branching possibilities in bioadaptive narratives extend far beyond traditional choice-based storytelling. While you still make explicit narrative choices about character actions and story direction, the system also makes invisible choices about presentation, pacing, and emotional framing based on your physiological state. This creates a multi-layered narrative experience where your conscious decisions and unconscious emotional needs both shape the story. Character interactions become particularly sophisticated in these systems. Non-player characters can adjust their behavioral patterns based on your emotional state, becoming more supportive and encouraging when you need comfort, or more challenging and thought-provoking when you're ready for intellectual engagement. These adjustments feel natural rather than artificial because they mirror how real relationships respond to our emotional needs. The dialogue systems in bioadaptive games represent a fascinating evolution in interactive storytelling. Instead of presenting fixed dialogue options, the system can dynamically generate conversation choices that align with your current emotional capacity. When stress indicators are high, dialogue options might be more straightforward and less emotionally demanding. When you're in an optimal state for complex emotional engagement, the options might be more nuanced and psychologically challenging. Pacing becomes a crucial element in bioadaptive narratives. The system continuously monitors your engagement patterns and adjusts the rhythm of story progression accordingly. If biometric data indicates you're becoming overwhelmed by the pace of revelations, the narrative might introduce more contemplative moments, allowing time for emotional processing. If attention indicators suggest the pace is too slow, story beats might be compressed or intensified to maintain optimal engagement. Environmental storytelling adapts to complement the emotional tone the system is trying to achieve. The same story location might be presented with warm, golden lighting and gentle ambient sounds when calm is needed, or with more dramatic lighting and stirring musical scores when heightened engagement is appropriate. These environmental changes support the narrative's emotional goals while maintaining the coherence of the story world. The system also manages what researchers call emotional load balancing across longer play sessions. It tracks the cumulative emotional impact of story events, ensuring that intense moments are balanced with opportunities for recovery and integration. This prevents emotional overwhelm while maintaining the narrative momentum necessary for compelling storytelling. Memory and reflection systems within bioadaptive games help create deeper emotional connections to the narrative. When the system detects that you've had a particularly meaningful experience with a story element, it might create callbacks or references that honor that emotional investment. Conversely, if certain narrative elements caused unwanted stress or discomfort, the system learns to approach similar content differently in the future. The long-term narrative arc also adapts to your evolving emotional patterns and preferences. The system learns your response patterns to different types of story content, gradually building a personalized understanding of what narrative elements promote flow states for you specifically. This allows for increasingly sophisticated customization that goes far beyond surface preferences to address your deepest psychological patterns and needs. Perhaps most remarkably, bioadaptive narratives can serve therapeutic functions, using storytelling techniques known to promote emotional healing and growth. When appropriate, the system might present narratives that gently explore themes relevant to your psychological development, always within safe emotional parameters and never presuming to provide actual therapy, but rather offering the kind of meaningful, reflective experiences that great literature has always provided. The bioadaptive games of 2035 will orchestrate a symphony of biometric inputs, each contributing its unique voice to a comprehensive understanding of your psychological and physiological state. This multi-layered approach creates a remarkably nuanced picture of your inner experience, enabling responses that are both precise and deeply attuned to your human nature. Heart rate variability serves as perhaps the most fundamental instrument in this biometric orchestra. Unlike simple heart rate monitoring, which only measures beats per minute, heart rate variability analyzes the subtle variations in timing between heartbeats. These variations provide a window into your autonomic nervous system state, revealing whether you're in a parasympathetic state of rest and recovery or a sympathetic state of arousal and activity. The beauty of heart rate variability lies in its sensitivity to emotional changes that occur before conscious awareness. When you're approaching cognitive overload or emotional stress, your heart rate variability patterns shift in characteristic ways, often several minutes before you might consciously recognize the feeling. This early warning system allows bioadaptive games to make preventive adjustments, maintaining your optimal state rather than recovering from disruption. Skin conductance adds another layer of emotional insight, measuring the microscopic changes in your skin's electrical conductivity caused by sweat gland activity. These changes correlate strongly with emotional arousal and stress responses. When you encounter something exciting, challenging, or stressful, your skin conductance increases in measurable ways. Bioadaptive systems use this information to gauge the emotional impact of different game elements, adjusting content to maintain optimal arousal levels. Breathing patterns provide yet another stream of psychological information. The depth, rhythm, and consistency of your breathing reflect your current state of relaxation or tension. Shallow, rapid breathing might indicate anxiety or stress, while deep, regular breathing suggests calm focus. Some bioadaptive systems will even incorporate breathing guidance directly into gameplay, using breathing-based mechanics that naturally promote relaxation while maintaining engagement. Eye tracking technology contributes crucial information about cognitive load and attention patterns. The micro-movements of your eyes reveal where your attention is focused, how efficiently you're processing visual information, and whether you're experiencing cognitive strain. Pupil dilation provides additional insights into cognitive load, emotional arousal, and even interest levels. Bioadaptive games use this information to optimize interface design, adjust visual complexity, and ensure that important information is presented where and when your attention is naturally focused. Brain activity monitoring through EEG represents perhaps the most direct measurement of psychological state. Different brainwave patterns correlate with specific mental states: alpha waves with relaxed awareness, beta waves with active concentration, theta waves with deep relaxation or creativity, and gamma waves with intense focus or insight. Advanced bioadaptive systems can detect these patterns and adjust gameplay to either support your current mental state or gently guide you toward a different, more beneficial state. The integration of these multiple biometric streams creates what researchers call physiological fusion, a comprehensive understanding that's more accurate and robust than any single measurement could provide. Machine learning algorithms analyze patterns across all these data streams, learning to recognize the complex signatures that indicate different psychological states for you as an individual. Temporal patterns add another dimension to this understanding. The system learns not just your current state, but how your states typically evolve over time. It might recognize that you tend to experience peak flow states about 15 minutes into a session, or that your stress levels typically begin to rise after 40 minutes of play. This temporal understanding allows for proactive adjustments that prevent problems before they occur. Environmental factors also influence the interpretation of biometric data. The system learns how your baseline measurements vary depending on time of day, ambient temperature, caffeine consumption, or other contextual factors. A heart rate that might indicate stress in the evening could be perfectly normal for you in the morning after coffee. This contextual understanding prevents false alarms and ensures accurate interpretation of your psychological state. The privacy and security of this biometric information represents a crucial consideration in bioadaptive gaming systems. All biometric data is processed locally on your device whenever possible, with only aggregated, anonymized patterns shared for system improvement. You maintain complete control over what data is collected and how it's used, with transparent opt-in and opt-out systems for different levels of monitoring. The feedback provided to you about your own biometric patterns becomes an educational tool for developing greater self-awareness. Some bioadaptive games include optional wellness features that help you understand your own stress patterns, optimal performance times, and recovery needs. This transforms gaming from passive entertainment into active self-discovery and personal growth. Calibration becomes a crucial process in bioadaptive systems, as baseline biometric patterns vary significantly between individuals. The system spends time learning your unique patterns, understanding what elevated heart rate variability means for you specifically, or how your breathing patterns correlate with different emotional states. This personalized calibration ensures that adaptations are truly responsive to your individual needs rather than generic algorithmic responses. The accuracy and responsiveness of these biometric systems continue to improve as sensor technology advances. Non-invasive sensors become more sensitive and sophisticated, while machine learning algorithms become better at interpreting complex physiological patterns. By 2035, biometric monitoring will be so seamless and accurate that the technology effectively disappears, leaving only the experience of games that seem to understand and respond to your needs with almost intuitive precision. The bioadaptive gaming systems of 2035 will create deeply personalized profiles that go far beyond simple demographic information or gameplay preferences. These profiles represent comprehensive psychological maps of your individual gaming needs, learning patterns, stress responses, and optimal challenge configurations. They evolve continuously as the system gains deeper understanding of your unique psychological makeup and how it changes over time. The foundation of personalized gaming profiles lies in pattern recognition across multiple dimensions of your gaming experience. The system observes how you respond to different types of challenges, what narrative themes resonate most strongly with you, when you prefer solitary versus social gaming experiences, and how your preferences shift based on your current life circumstances or emotional state. Your stress response patterns form a crucial component of this profile. The system learns your individual stress signatures, the specific combinations of biometric indicators that signal when you're approaching your comfort zone limits. More importantly, it discovers what types of interventions work best for you personally. Some individuals respond well to visual calming techniques, while others benefit more from audio adjustments or reduced cognitive complexity. Your profile captures these individual preferences for stress management and recovery. Learning style preferences become another key element in personalized profiles. Some people thrive on systematic, step-by-step progression through game systems, while others prefer exploratory, discovery-based learning. Some individuals process information better through visual presentation, others through auditory explanation, and still others through kinesthetic interaction. Bioadaptive games adjust their teaching and progression methods to align with your personal learning preferences. The temporal patterns of your optimal performance become precisely mapped over time. Your profile might reveal that you consistently achieve peak flow states between 7 to 9 p.m., that your problem-solving abilities are strongest in the morning, or that you prefer more contemplative content late in the evening. The system uses this temporal understanding to optimize not just what content it presents, but when different types of content will be most beneficial for you. Social interaction preferences form a complex but crucial part of your gaming profile. The system learns whether you prefer competitive or cooperative multiplayer experiences, how much social interaction enhances versus detracts from your flow states, and what types of communication styles you find most engaging. It understands your comfort levels with different social situations and can adjust multiplayer matching and interaction systems accordingly. Recovery and restoration patterns become mapped with particular precision. The system learns what you need after challenging or emotionally intense gaming experiences. Some individuals benefit from immediate transition to calming content, while others prefer gradual wind-down periods. Some find restoration in nature-themed environments, others in abstract or minimalist spaces. Your profile captures these individual restoration needs. Cognitive load tolerance varies significantly between individuals and changes based on current life stress, fatigue levels, and other factors. Your profile tracks your capacity for complex decision-making, multitasking, and information processing under different conditions. This allows the system to present appropriately challenging content that pushes your abilities without overwhelming your current cognitive capacity. Emotional resilience patterns become understood through careful observation of your responses to different types of narrative content and emotional challenges within games. The system learns what types of emotional content you find beneficial versus overwhelming, how you prefer to process difficult themes, and what kinds of emotional support help you navigate challenging experiences. The profile system also incorporates your explicit preferences and goals. You might specify that you're using gaming primarily for stress relief, skill development, social connection, or creative expression. The system uses these stated intentions to guide its adaptation strategies, ensuring that your gaming experiences align with your conscious goals as well as your unconscious psychological needs. Cultural and contextual factors influence how your profile develops and operates. The system recognizes that gaming preferences and psychological responses can be influenced by cultural background, life experiences, and current circumstances. It adapts its understanding to account for these broader contextual factors that shape your individual gaming needs. The evolution of your profile over time represents one of the most sophisticated aspects of these systems. Rather than treating your preferences as fixed, the system recognizes that people grow and change. It continuously updates its understanding of your needs while maintaining stability in areas where your patterns remain consistent. This allows for both reliability and adaptability in your gaming experiences. Privacy and control over your personalized profile remain paramount. You can review, modify, or delete any aspect of your profile at any time. The system provides clear explanations of what it has learned about your preferences and why it makes certain adaptation decisions. This transparency ensures that you remain in control of your gaming experience while benefiting from personalized adaptation. The integration of profiles across different games and platforms creates continuity in your bioadaptive gaming experience. Your profile can inform new games about your preferences and needs, allowing for immediate personalization rather than requiring each new game to learn your patterns from scratch. This cross-platform integration creates a seamless, consistently supportive gaming ecosystem. Advanced profiles also incorporate predictive elements, learning to anticipate your needs based on patterns in your life outside of gaming. The system might recognize that you typically need more calming content on weekdays after work, or that you prefer more challenging experiences during periods when other life stressors are low. This predictive capability allows for proactive rather than reactive adaptation. In the bioadaptive gaming landscape of 2035, stress reduction isn't merely a beneficial side effect, it becomes a fundamental game mechanic, carefully integrated into core gameplay systems to create experiences that actively promote psychological well-being while remaining engaging and enjoyable. This represents a paradigm shift from traditional gaming's focus on generating stress and tension toward creating interactive experiences that serve as sophisticated tools for stress management and emotional regulation. The integration of stress reduction into gameplay mechanics requires a delicate balance between maintaining engagement and promoting relaxation. Bioadaptive games achieve this through what researchers call positive stress cycles, carefully controlled patterns of mild challenge, followed by satisfying resolution that exercise your stress response system in healthy ways while preventing the accumulation of harmful stress. Breathing-based mechanics become central to many bioadaptive games, seamlessly integrating stress reduction techniques into core gameplay. Rather than simply telling you to breathe deeply, these games create mechanics where proper breathing rhythm directly influences your effectiveness in the game world. A stealth game might require steady breathing to remain hidden, with breath monitoring sensors detecting your actual breathing patterns. A magic-based adventure might use breathing rhythm to cast spells, naturally encouraging the kind of controlled breathing that promotes calm focus. Progressive muscle relaxation techniques find expression through innovative control schemes and gameplay mechanics. A puzzle game might require you to tense and relax different muscle groups to manipulate objects in the game world, teaching progressive relaxation while solving engaging challenges. The biometric monitoring systems can detect when you're properly executing these techniques, providing feedback through game responses that make relaxation training feel like natural gameplay rather than medical intervention. Mindfulness principles become woven throughout game design in subtle but powerful ways. Games might include mechanics that reward present moment awareness, encouraging you to notice subtle details in the environment, or to focus completely on the current task without thinking ahead to future challenges. These mechanics naturally develop mindfulness skills while maintaining the engaging progression and achievement systems that make games compelling. The pacing systems in bioadaptive games actively manage stress accumulation throughout play sessions. Instead of building tension continuously toward climactic moments, these games create rhythmic patterns of engagement and recovery that prevent stress overload. The system monitors your stress indicators and introduces natural breathing spaces in the gameplay when it detects accumulation of tension. Environmental design becomes a powerful tool for stress reduction, with game worlds specifically crafted to promote psychological well-being. Natural environments feature prominently, as research consistently shows that exposure to nature imagery and sounds reduces stress and promotes restoration. These environments aren't merely decorative, they're integrated into gameplay in ways that encourage you to spend time appreciating their calming qualities. Sound design in bioadaptive games serves multiple stress reduction functions simultaneously. Background music incorporates frequencies and rhythms known to promote relaxation, while ambient sounds include natural elements like gentle water flow, soft wind, or distant bird calls. The audio dynamically adjusts to your current stress level, becoming more calming when sensors detect tension and returning to neutral when you've achieved a relaxed state. Color psychology principles guide the visual design of bioadaptive games, with palettes chosen specifically for their psychological impact. Calming blues and greens dominate when stress reduction is needed, while warmer colors provide gentle stimulation during periods of low arousal. The saturation and brightness of colors adjust dynamically based on your current psychological state, creating visual environments that support optimal emotional regulation. Social mechanics in multiplayer bioadaptive games emphasize cooperation and mutual support rather than competition and conflict. Players might need to synchronize their breathing patterns to solve challenges together, or coordinate relaxation techniques to achieve shared goals. These mechanics naturally build social connections while reinforcing stress reduction skills. Achievement systems in bioadaptive games often focus on wellness outcomes rather than traditional performance metrics. You might earn recognition for maintaining steady breathing during challenging sections, for helping other players achieve calm states, or for demonstrating improvement in stress management over time. These achievement structures reinforce the value of psychological well-being while maintaining the motivation systems that make games engaging. Biofeedback loops become central to the gaming experience, with your physiological state directly influencing game mechanics in positive ways. Lower stress levels might unlock new abilities, reveal hidden content, or improve your character's effectiveness. This creates positive reinforcement for stress reduction techniques while maintaining agency and empowerment in the gaming experience. The games also incorporate what might be called stress inoculation mechanics, carefully controlled exposure to mild challenges that help build resilience without causing harmful stress. Like a vaccine that provides immunity through exposure to weakened pathogens, these mechanics help you develop stronger stress management skills by providing practice in safe, supportive environments. Recovery mechanics become as important as challenge mechanics in bioadaptive games. After periods of higher intensity, games automatically provide opportunities for recovery and integration. These might take the form of contemplative exploration, creative expression, or simply peaceful observation of beautiful game environments. The system ensures that you always have access to restoration when needed. Long-term stress management becomes a metagame element, with the system tracking your stress patterns over weeks and months, providing insights into your stress management progress and suggesting modifications to your gaming habits that could improve your overall well-being. This transforms gaming from mere entertainment into a tool for long-term psychological health and personal development. Bioadaptive gaming systems of 2035 create unprecedented opportunities for integrating mindfulness practice into interactive entertainment, transforming games into sophisticated tools for developing present-moment awareness, emotional regulation, and inner peace. This intersection represents one of the most profound developments in both gaming and contemplative practice, offering accessible pathways to mindfulness that feel natural and engaging rather than clinical or forced. The foundation of mindfulness gaming lies in the recognition that games naturally create opportunities for focused attention, one of the core elements of mindfulness practice. Bioadaptive systems enhance this natural capacity by creating gameplay mechanics that explicitly reward present-moment awareness while maintaining the engaging progression systems that make games compelling. Attention training becomes a central game mechanic in mindfulness-based bioadaptive games. Rather than simply requiring quick reflexes or strategic thinking, these games create challenges that demand sustained, focused attention on the present moment. An exploration game might require you to notice subtle changes in environmental details, with the game's biometric monitoring confirming whether your attention is truly focused or scattered. Success depends not on speed or competition, but on the quality of your attention. Breath awareness transforms from a separate mindfulness exercise into seamless gameplay integration. Games might synchronize their rhythm to your breathing patterns, creating visual or auditory flows that naturally guide you toward optimal breathing rhythms. A flowing art creation game might allow you to paint landscapes where the brush strokes follow your breath rhythm, creating beautiful art while developing breath awareness skills. Body awareness mechanics help develop what Buddhist tradition calls mindfulness of the body, the ability to remain conscious of physical sensations and posture. Bioadaptive games can detect tension patterns through multiple sensors and create gameplay that encourages body awareness and relaxation. A character's movement abilities might improve when you maintain relaxed shoulders, or puzzle-solving effectiveness might increase when you sit with good posture and relaxed breathing. Emotional awareness becomes a sophisticated game mechanic through biometric monitoring of emotional states. Instead of hiding or suppressing emotions, mindfulness games encourage you to notice and accept whatever emotional states arise during play. The game might present this information as a weather system in the game world, where your current emotional state influences the environment in beautiful, non-judgmental ways. Anxiety might create interesting cloud formations, while calm produces clear skies and gentle breezes. Non-judgmental awareness, a cornerstone of mindfulness practice, finds expression through games that respond to your mental states without criticism or pressure to change. When biometric monitoring detects frustration or impatience, the game doesn't penalize these states, but rather acknowledges them with compassion, perhaps offering gentle environmental changes that support whatever you're experiencing without pushing you to feel differently. Walking meditation principles influence movement mechanics in mindfulness games. Instead of rushing toward objectives, these games reward slow, deliberate movement that encourages awareness of each step and transition. Virtual walking paths might reveal their beauty only when traversed at a mindful pace, with rushing causing details to blur or become less vibrant. The biometric monitoring confirms whether your movement is truly mindful or merely slow. Loving-kindness meditation finds expression through social mechanics that encourage compassion toward other players and virtual characters. Games might include mechanics where sending good wishes or compassionate intentions to other players provides gameplay benefits, reinforcing the practice of loving-kindness while maintaining engaging multiplayer experiences. Impermanence, the Buddhist concept that all things change, becomes a central theme in mindfulness games through environments and narratives that explicitly embrace change and transience. Beautiful virtual environments might transform gradually over time, teaching acceptance of change while creating opportunities to practice letting go of attachment to particular states or experiences. Present moment anchoring techniques become integrated into gameplay through mechanics that reward returning attention to immediate sensory experience. When biometric monitoring detects that your mind has wandered into planning or rumination, the game might provide gentle cues that draw attention back to current sensory experience, the visual beauty of the game world, the sounds of the environment, or the physical sensations of interacting with the interface. Mindful communication becomes a focus in social mindfulness games, where the quality of your attention during interactions with other players influences the depth and meaning of those interactions. The game might detect through voice analysis or typing patterns whether you're truly present during conversations, rewarding mindful communication with richer social experiences and deeper connections. Acceptance practice finds expression through games that present challenging or uncomfortable situations without requiring you to fix or change them immediately. Instead of providing clear solutions to every problem, mindfulness games might sometimes ask you to simply be present with difficulty, teaching the essential mindfulness skill of accepting what cannot be immediately changed. Integration periods become built into mindfulness games, providing time for reflection and assimilation of insights that arise during play. Rather than rushing from one challenge to the next, these games include natural pauses that encourage contemplation of what you've experienced and learned about yourself through the gaming process. The biometric feedback in mindfulness games serves an educational function, helping you develop greater awareness of your own mental and emotional patterns. The game might provide gentle insights about when you tend to become tense, what types of experiences promote calm for you personally, or how your attention patterns change throughout a gaming session. This feedback supports the development of self-awareness that extends beyond gaming into daily life. Long-term mindfulness development becomes a meta-progression system, with the game tracking your growth in present-moment awareness, emotional regulation, and overall mindfulness skills over time. Unlike traditional game progression that focuses on external achievements, mindfulness game progression celebrates internal development and increased capacity for peace and awareness. The bioadaptive gaming systems of 2035 represent sophisticated tools for cognitive enhancement, using precisely calibrated challenge curves and real-time adaptation to promote optimal brain development while maintaining the engaging, flow-inducing experiences that make gaming naturally compelling. This approach transforms entertainment into a powerful vehicle for cognitive training that feels effortless and enjoyable rather than laborious or clinical. The foundation of cognitive enhancement through gaming lies in understanding the relationship between challenge, engagement, and neuroplasticity. Research has consistently shown that the brain develops most effectively when challenged at the edge of current capabilities, difficult enough to stimulate growth, but not so difficult as to cause stress or discouragement. Bioadaptive games maintain this optimal challenge zone continuously through real-time adjustment of complexity, timing, and support systems. Working memory enhancement becomes seamlessly integrated into gameplay through mechanics that require holding and manipulating increasing amounts of information. A strategy game might gradually increase the number of variables you need to track simultaneously, but only as your performance indicates readiness for greater complexity. The biometric monitoring ensures that cognitive load remains optimal, challenging but not overwhelming, adjusting the number of elements, the time pressure, or the complexity of relationships between different information pieces. Attention training occurs through games that require sustained focus on relevant information while filtering out distractions. The system monitors your attention patterns through eye tracking and EEG data, gradually increasing the difficulty of attention challenges as your capacity improves. A puzzle game might introduce more visual noise or competing elements, but only when your biometric indicators show that you're maintaining focused attention effectively with current levels of complexity. Processing speed development happens through carefully calibrated timing challenges that adapt to your current capabilities. Rather than presenting fixed time limits, bioadaptive games adjust timing requirements based on your current processing speed, gradually encouraging faster responses while ensuring that speed improvements don't come at the cost of accuracy or stress. The system recognizes that optimal processing speed varies between individuals and even within individuals across different times and context. Executive function training becomes integrated into game mechanics that require planning, flexibility, and impulse control. Strategy games might present scenarios requiring complex planning, but the system adjusts the planning horizon and complexity based on your current executive function capacity. When biometric indicators suggest cognitive fatigue, the system might reduce the planning requirements while maintaining engagement through other cognitive challenges. Cognitive flexibility development occurs through games that require switching between different mental sets or adapting to changing rules. The system monitors how well you handle these transitions through performance metrics and physiological indicators, gradually increasing the frequency and complexity of required mental shifts as your flexibility improves. The key is ensuring that cognitive flexibility challenges feel like natural gameplay evolution rather than arbitrary rule changes. Memory consolidation becomes enhanced through game design that naturally incorporates optimal spacing and repetition patterns for learning. Instead of cramming information or practicing skills intensively, bioadaptive games distribute practice across time in patterns that research has shown to optimize long-term retention. The system tracks what you've learned and when, ensuring that review and practice occur at optimal intervals for memory consolidation. Pattern recognition skills develop through games that present increasingly complex patterns while monitoring your recognition accuracy and response time. The system adjusts pattern complexity, presentation duration, and similarity between patterns based on your current pattern recognition capabilities. Visual, auditory, and conceptual patterns all receive attention, developing pattern recognition across multiple modalities. Problem-solving enhancement happens through carefully structured challenges that require increasingly sophisticated solution strategies. The system monitors not just whether you solve problems correctly, but how efficiently you approach them, what strategies you employ, and how flexible you are in trying new approaches when initial strategies fail. Challenge complexity adjusts to maintain optimal problem-solving load without causing frustration. Cognitive stamina development becomes a crucial focus, as sustained cognitive performance is essential for real-world applications. Bioadaptive games gradually extend the duration of cognitive challenges while monitoring fatigue indicators through biometric data. When the system detects cognitive fatigue, it provides appropriate recovery periods or shifts to different types of cognitive challenges that allow some systems to rest while exercising others. Transfer of cognitive improvements to real-world tasks represents a key design consideration in bioadaptive cognitive enhancement games. Rather than training narrow, game-specific skills, these systems focus on developing fundamental cognitive abilities that apply broadly. The games incorporate diverse contexts and applications for each cognitive skill, helping ensure that improvements transfer beyond the gaming environment. Metacognitive development, awareness of your own thinking processes, becomes an explicit game mechanic through systems that provide feedback about your cognitive strategies and their effectiveness. The game might highlight when you're using effective problem-solving approaches, when you're developing good attention habits, or when your working memory strategies are particularly efficient. This metacognitive awareness enhances your ability to apply cognitive skills effectively in various contexts. Individual cognitive profiles guide the enhancement process, recognizing that people have different cognitive strengths and weaknesses. The system identifies your cognitive profile through careful observation of performance across different cognitive domains, then provides targeted enhancement for areas needing development, while leveraging your cognitive strengths to maintain motivation and engagement. Long-term cognitive development tracking allows the system to monitor your progress over weeks and months, adjusting enhancement strategies based on your long-term growth patterns. The system recognizes that cognitive development occurs in spurts and plateaus, adapting its enhancement approach to work with your natural development rhythms rather than against them. The integration of cognitive enhancement with other game elements ensures that cognitive training feels like natural gameplay rather than educational exercise. Story elements, character development, social interaction, and creative expression all incorporate cognitive enhancement mechanics in ways that feel organic and engaging, making cognitive development a natural byproduct of enjoyable gaming experiences. The social dimensions of bioadaptive gaming in 2035 create unprecedented opportunities for meaningful human connection and collaborative emotional regulation. These systems understand that humans are fundamentally social beings, and they leverage this understanding to create multiplayer experiences that not only entertain but also foster genuine relationships and mutual support for psychological well-being. Bioadaptive multiplayer matching represents a sophisticated evolution beyond simple skill-based pairing. The system considers not just gaming abilities, but psychological compatibility, current emotional states, and complementary wellness needs. When you're experiencing stress, you might be matched with players who have calm, supportive energy. When you're feeling isolated, the system might connect you with individuals seeking social connection. This creates multiplayer experiences that serve both entertainment and social emotional needs. Emotional contagion, the phenomenon where emotions spread between people, becomes a carefully managed element in bioadaptive social gaming. The system monitors the emotional states of all players in a group and works to promote positive emotional contagion while preventing the spread of negative emotions like anxiety or frustration. If one player's stress levels begin to rise, the system might adjust the experience for the entire group, creating calming elements that benefit everyone. Collaborative stress regulation becomes a core mechanic in many bioadaptive multiplayer games. Players might need to coordinate their breathing patterns to solve puzzles together, with biometric monitoring ensuring that everyone maintains calm, synchronized states. These mechanics create shared experiences of relaxation and mutual support, fostering connections that extend beyond gaming into genuine care for each other's well-being. Communication enhancement systems help players express themselves more effectively and empathetically. The system can detect through voice analysis or typing patterns when someone is struggling to communicate their needs or feelings, providing gentle prompts or tools that facilitate better expression. Similarly, when it detects that communication is becoming tense or unproductive, it might suggest breaks or introduce calming activities for the group. Social presence amplification addresses one of the challenges of digital social interaction, the difficulty of feeling truly present with others through technology. Bioadaptive systems use various techniques to enhance the sense of social presence: synchronized breathing exercises, shared biometric feedback that creates awareness of other states, or environmental changes that respond to the collective emotional state of the group. Empathy development becomes facilitated through gameplay mechanics that provide insight into other players' emotional states and needs. With appropriate consent and privacy protections, players might see general indicators of other stress levels, energy, or emotional needs, encouraging supportive responses and building empathy skills. These systems teach players to be more attuned to others' emotional states both in gaming and in real-life interactions. Conflict resolution mechanisms help manage the inevitable disagreements and tensions that arise in social gaming. When the system detects rising conflict through physiological indicators or communication patterns, it can introduce cooling-off periods, redirect attention to collaborative activities, or provide structured processes for working through disagreements constructively. The goal is to model healthy conflict resolution rather than simply avoiding all disagreement. Supportive leadership emergence becomes facilitated through systems that recognize when certain players naturally provide emotional support or positive influence to groups. Rather than assigning fixed leadership roles, bioadaptive systems identify emergent patterns of positive social influence and create opportunities for natural leaders to flourish, while ensuring that leadership responsibilities rotate and develop across all players. Collective flow states represent one of the most remarkable possibilities in bioadaptive multiplayer gaming. When individual players achieve flow states simultaneously while engaged in collaborative activities, they can enter collective flow, a shared state of optimal experience that creates profound connections and exceptional performance. Bioadaptive systems can detect the conditions that promote collective flow and actively facilitate these transcendent shared experiences. Social learning acceleration occurs when bioadaptive systems recognize teaching and learning opportunities within multiplayer interactions. When one player demonstrates effective stress management techniques or cognitive strategies, the system might subtly highlight these behaviors for other players to observe and learn from. This creates natural mentorship relationships and peer learning opportunities. Inclusive social environment. Management ensures that all players feel welcomed and valued regardless of their skill level, emotional state, or background. The system monitors for signs of social exclusion, discrimination, or bullying, intervening with environmental changes, activity suggestions, or matchmaking adjustments that promote more inclusive interactions. It actively works to create spaces where psychological safety is maintained for all participants. Community wellness initiatives emerge from bioadaptive multiplayer systems that track the overall emotional and psychological health of gaming communities. The system might identify when certain groups or communities are experiencing collective stress and introduce community-wide wellness activities, such as group meditation sessions, collaborative art projects, or shared nature exploration experiences within game worlds. Long-term relationship building becomes supported through systems that recognize developing friendships and provide opportunities for deeper connection. The system might suggest activities that align with shared interests, facilitate meaningful conversations through structured interaction prompts, or create special shared experiences for players who have developed positive relationships over time. Cultural sensitivity and adaptation ensure that bioadaptive social systems respect and accommodate diverse cultural approaches to emotion, social interaction, and relationship building. The system learns cultural patterns and preferences, adapting its social facilitation strategies to align with different cultural norms while still promoting positive social experiences for all participants. Privacy and consent frameworks become crucial in bioadaptive social gaming, as these systems necessarily involve sharing information about emotional states and psychological needs. Players maintain complete control over what information is shared with others, with clear, granular consent mechanisms that allow for selective sharing based on relationship level and context. The system ensures that social features enhance rather than compromise privacy and autonomy. The integration of social bioadaptive gaming with real-world social skills development creates bridges between digital and face-to-face relationships. Players develop emotional intelligence, empathy, communication skills, and conflict resolution abilities that transfer directly to their offline relationships, making bioadaptive social gaming a tool for comprehensive social development. As we delve deeper into the possibilities of bioadaptive gaming, we must carefully examine the ethical implications of technology that can read and respond to our psychological states. The power to influence human emotions and behaviors through gaming carries significant responsibilities that developers, researchers, and society must thoughtfully address to ensure these systems serve human flourishing rather than exploitation. The principle of informed consent becomes fundamental in bioadaptive gaming systems. Users must fully understand what biometric data is being collected, how it's being used to influence their gaming experience, and what the potential psychological effects might be. This goes beyond simple privacy notices to include education about how these systems work and their potential impacts on mental state and behavior. Consent must be ongoing and revocable, allowing users to modify their participation at any time. Psychological manipulation versus supportive adaptation represents a crucial distinction that must be carefully maintained. Bioadaptive systems should enhance user agency and well-being, rather than exploiting psychological vulnerabilities for engagement or profit. The intent behind adaptation algorithms matters enormously. Systems designed to keep players engaged at any cost operate very differently from systems designed to optimize psychological health and flow states. Autonomy preservation ensures that bioadaptive systems enhance rather than replace human decision-making and self-regulation capabilities. While these systems can provide valuable support for emotional regulation and stress management, they must not create dependency or undermine users' development of their own psychological skills. The goal should be to empower users with greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence rather than making them reliant on technological intervention. Transparency in algorithmic decision-making becomes essential for maintaining trust and enabling informed participation. Users should understand, in accessible terms, how the system interprets their biometric data and why it makes particular adaptations. This transparency allows users to maintain agency over their experience and helps prevent the development of black box systems that operate beyond human understanding or control. Data ownership and privacy protections must be robust and comprehensive. Biometric and psychological data represent some of the most intimate information about individuals, requiring the highest levels of security and privacy protection. Users should maintain ownership of their data, with clear control over how it's stored, used, and shared. The potential for this data to be misused by bad actors or exploitative systems necessitates strong legal and technical protections. Vulnerable population protection requires special consideration in bioadaptive gaming systems. Children, individuals with mental health conditions, and others who might be particularly susceptible to psychological influence need additional safeguards. Systems must be designed to detect and appropriately respond to vulnerable users, potentially limiting certain types of adaptation or providing additional support resources. The right to psychological privacy emerges as a new concept in the age of bioadaptive technology. Individuals should have the right to keep their emotional and psychological states private, even in gaming contexts. This includes the right to experience emotions without technological intervention and the right to maintain private internal experiences that aren't subject to algorithmic interpretation or response. Addiction prevention becomes a crucial ethical responsibility for bioadaptive gaming systems. The power to optimize engagement and maintain flow states could potentially be misused to create addictive experiences. Ethical bioadaptive systems must include safeguards against problematic gaming patterns, encouraging healthy gaming habits, and providing tools for self-regulation rather than exploiting psychological mechanisms for maximum engagement time. Cultural sensitivity and respect for diverse psychological and emotional norms must be built into bioadaptive systems. Different cultures have varying approaches to emotion, stress, social interaction, and psychological well-being. Systems must avoid imposing particular cultural standards of emotional regulation or psychological health, instead adapting to support diverse approaches to mental wellness. Professional boundaries need clear definition when bioadaptive gaming systems provide mental health benefits. While these systems can support psychological well-being, they are not therapy and should not claim to provide medical or psychological treatment. Clear boundaries must distinguish between wellness support and professional mental health intervention, with appropriate referral mechanisms when users need professional support. Research ethics become crucial as bioadaptive gaming systems generate vast amounts of data about human psychological patterns and responses. Research using this data must follow established ethical guidelines for psychological research, including institutional review board oversight, informed consent for research participation, and protection of participant well-being and privacy. Equity and accessibility considerations ensure that the benefits of bioadaptive gaming technology are available broadly rather than creating new forms of digital inequality. The technology should be designed to work across diverse populations and economic circumstances, avoiding the creation of a psychological enhancement divide where only privileged individuals have access to these supportive technologies. Long-term societal impacts require careful consideration and monitoring. As bioadaptive gaming becomes widespread, what effects might it have on human psychological development, social relationships, and cultural patterns? Society needs mechanisms for tracking and responding to unexpected consequences of widespread adoption of psychologically adaptive technology. Regulatory frameworks will need development to govern bioadaptive gaming technology appropriately. Current regulations may not adequately address the unique challenges posed by systems that can read and influence psychological states. New regulatory approaches might be needed that balance innovation with protection of user well-being and rights. Industry responsibility extends beyond legal compliance to include ethical leadership in developing and deploying bioadaptive gaming technology. Companies developing these systems have a responsibility to prioritize user well-being over profit, to invest in safety research, and to participate in developing industry-wide ethical standards for psychologically adaptive technology. User education and digital literacy become essential for safe and beneficial use of bioadaptive gaming systems. Users need to understand not just how to operate these systems, but how to evaluate their effects on psychological well-being, how to maintain healthy boundaries with adaptive technology, and how to recognize when professional support might be needed. The intimate nature of biometric data collected by bioadaptive gaming systems necessitates a fundamental reimagining of privacy and consent frameworks. These systems don't just track what you do, they monitor how you feel when you're stressed, what calms you, and the subtle patterns of your psychological responses. This level of intimate access requires privacy protections that go far beyond traditional data security measures. The concept of biometric privacy encompasses not just the protection of raw sensor data, but the protection of the psychological insights derived from that data. Your heart rate variability patterns might reveal information about your stress resilience, emotional regulation capabilities, and even susceptibility to certain mental health conditions. The algorithmic interpretations of your biometric data can create psychological profiles that are more revealing than explicit personal information you might consciously choose to share. Granular consent mechanisms become essential for managing the complexity of bioadaptive gaming privacy. Rather than simple accept all or nothing approaches, these systems require sophisticated consent frameworks that allow users to selectively choose what types of data are collected, how they're used, and with whom they're shared. You might consent to heart rate monitoring for difficulty adjustment while declining brain activity monitoring, or allow emotional state detection for single-player experiences while restricting it in multiplayer contexts. Real-time consent management acknowledges that privacy preferences can change based on context, mood, and circumstances. Bioadaptive gaming systems need interfaces that allow users to modify their consent choices easily and immediately. If you're feeling particularly vulnerable or private on a given day, you should be able to quickly restrict data collection without losing access to the gaming experience entirely. Data minimization principles ensure that bioadaptive systems collect only the biometric data necessary for their stated purposes. If a game can provide effective adaptation using heart rate data alone, it shouldn't also collect brain activity or detailed behavioral patterns. This principle of collecting the minimum necessary data helps reduce privacy risks while still enabling beneficial adaptation. Local processing architectures prioritize keeping sensitive biometric data on users' personal devices whenever possible. Rather than sending raw biometric data to remote servers, bioadaptive systems increasingly process this information locally, sending only aggregated anonymized insights when necessary for system improvement. This approach significantly reduces privacy risks while maintaining the responsiveness needed for real-time adaptation. Algorithmic transparency becomes crucial for meaningful consent in bioadaptive gaming. Users need to understand, in accessible terms, what their biometric data reveals about them and how the system uses this information to make adaptations. This transparency allows users to make informed decisions about their participation and helps prevent the development of opaque systems that users can't effectively evaluate or control. The right to explanation emerges as a fundamental privacy principle in bioadaptive gaming. When the system makes adaptations based on your biometric data, you should be able to understand why those changes occurred. If the difficulty suddenly decreased, you should know whether it was due to detected stress, fatigue, or another factor. This understanding helps maintain user agency and allows for informed consent to continue or modify the experience. Biometric data anonymization presents unique challenges because biometric patterns are often as identifying as fingerprints. Traditional anonymization techniques may be insufficient for protecting biometric privacy. Advanced privacy-preserving techniques like differential privacy, federated learning, or homomorphic encryption become necessary for protecting biometric data while still enabling beneficial research and system improvement. Temporal privacy considerations address how long biometric data should be retained and how consent for retention should be managed. Unlike static personal information, biometric data reflects your psychological state at specific moments in time. Privacy frameworks need to address whether historical biometric patterns should be retained for long-term personalization or deleted after immediate use. Cross-platform privacy coordination becomes necessary as bio-adaptive gaming systems potentially operate across multiple devices, games, and platforms. Privacy frameworks need to ensure that consent choices and privacy protections transfer seamlessly across different environments while maintaining user control over how their biometric data is shared between systems. Children's biometric privacy requires special protections given their developing understanding of privacy implications and their potential vulnerability to psychological influence. Bio-adaptive gaming systems designed for young users need enhanced privacy protections, limited data collection, parental oversight mechanisms, and age-appropriate consent processes that account for children's evolving capacity for understanding privacy implications. Sensitive inference protection addresses the challenge that biometric data can reveal information users never intended to share. Heart rate patterns might inadvertently reveal pregnancy, anxiety disorders, or substance use. Privacy frameworks must include protections against unwanted inferences and clear policies about how such accidentally revealed information is handled. Data portability rights allow users to take their biometric insights with them when switching between gaming platforms or systems. This includes not just raw data, but the processed insights about psychological patterns and preferences that represent significant value developed through extended system interaction. Users should own these insights and be able to transfer them to new systems while maintaining privacy protections. Breach notification and response protocols must account for the unique sensitivities of biometric data breaches. When psychological data is compromised, the potential harms extend beyond identity theft to include psychological manipulation, discrimination, and invasion of mental privacy. Breach response plans need to address these unique risks and provide appropriate support for affected users. Privacy education becomes essential for meaningful participation in bio-adaptive gaming systems. Users need to understand not just the immediate privacy implications of their consent choices, but the longer-term implications of sharing biometric data and the psychological insights that can be derived from it. This education should be ongoing and adaptive, helping users develop sophisticated privacy literacy. Consent withdrawal mechanisms must be robust and comprehensive, allowing users not just to stop future data collection, but to request deletion of previously collected data and insights. However, the challenge of unlearning algorithmic insights derived from biometric data presents complex technical and practical challenges that privacy frameworks must address. Third-party sharing restrictions need to be particularly strict for biometric gaming data, given its intimate nature. Users should have clear understanding and control over any sharing of their biometric data or derived insights with researchers, other companies, or governmental entities. The default should be non-sharing, with explicit, informed consent required for any data sharing arrangements. The emergence of bio-adaptive gaming represents part of a broader cultural transformation toward viewing entertainment not merely as escapism or time-filling activity, but as an active contributor to personal wellness and psychological growth. This shift reflects changing societal values that increasingly prioritize mental health, work-life balance, and holistic well-being over pure productivity or competitive achievement. The wellness entertainment paradigm recognizes that how we spend our leisure time profoundly impacts our psychological and physical health. Traditional entertainment often operates on a stimulation consumption model, providing intense but temporary experiences that may leave consumers feeling depleted or unsatisfied. Wellness-focused entertainment, by contrast, aims to leave participants feeling restored, enhanced, and more connected to themselves and others. Generational differences in entertainment values contribute significantly to this cultural shift. Younger generations, having grown up with greater awareness of mental health issues and access to information about psychological well-being, increasingly seek entertainment experiences that align with their values around self-care and personal growth. They're more likely to choose entertainment options based on how those experiences will affect their mental state and overall well-being. The integration of mindfulness principles into mainstream entertainment reflects this cultural evolution. Meditation apps have become as common as social media platforms among young adults. Slow television, programs featuring extended, unedited footage of peaceful activities like train journeys or fireplace burning, has gained popularity as people seek calming entertainment options. These trends demonstrate growing consumer demand for entertainment that promotes rather than disrupts psychological well-being. Corporate wellness initiatives increasingly recognize the role of entertainment choices in employee well-being. Progressive companies are beginning to include recommendations for wellness-focused entertainment in their employee wellness programs, recognizing that how employees spend their leisure time affects their workplace performance and satisfaction. This institutional support accelerates the adoption of wellness-focused entertainment options. The democratization of wellness tools through technology makes wellness-focused entertainment accessible to broader populations. Techniques that once required expensive therapy or specialized training, like biofeedback, meditation, or stress management, become accessible through bioadaptive gaming systems. This accessibility helps normalize wellness practices and integrate them into everyday entertainment choices. Social media influence accelerates the cultural shift toward wellness entertainment as influencers and content creators increasingly focus on mental health, self-care, and personal development content. The sharing of wellness-focused entertainment experiences through social networks helps normalize and promote these choices among peer groups, creating positive social pressure toward healthier entertainment habits. Economic factors also drive the cultural shift toward wellness entertainment. As healthcare costs rise and mental health challenges become more recognized, preventive approaches to psychological well-being become economically attractive. Entertainment that actively promotes mental health represents a form of preventive healthcare that can reduce long-term medical costs while improving quality of life. The productivity paradox, where increased connectivity and efficiency tools lead to higher stress rather than more leisure time, creates demand for entertainment that actively counteracts work-related stress. People increasingly recognize the need for entertainment that doesn't just distract from stress but actively helps manage and reduce it. Bioadaptive gaming systems that promote relaxation and emotional regulation serve this growing need. Educational system. Integration of wellness principles contributes to cultural change by teaching young people to consider the psychological impact of their entertainment choices. Schools increasingly include media literacy curricula that help students evaluate how different forms of entertainment affect their mental state and develop the skills to choose entertainment that supports their well-being. Healthcare provider recommendations increasingly include entertainment and leisure activities as part of comprehensive mental health treatment plans. Therapists and physicians are beginning to recommend specific types of entertainment, including bioadaptive gaming systems, as adjuncts to traditional treatment. This medical endorsement helps legitimize wellness-focused entertainment as a health intervention rather than mere leisure activity. Community formation around wellness entertainment creates supportive social environments that reinforce positive entertainment choices. Online and offline communities centered around wellness gaming, mindful entertainment consumption, and mental health-focused leisure activities provide social support and accountability for maintaining healthy entertainment habits. Research validation of wellness entertainment benefits provides scientific credibility for the cultural shift. As studies demonstrate the measurable mental health benefits of wellness-focused entertainment options, including bioadaptive gaming, these practices gain legitimacy and support from healthcare professionals, employers, and educational institutions. Environmental consciousness intersects with wellness entertainment as people become more aware of the environmental impact of their consumption choices. Digital wellness entertainment like bioadaptive gaming has a lower environmental footprint than many traditional entertainment options, appealing to environmentally conscious consumers who want their leisure choices to align with their values. The destigmatization of mental health needs contributes to greater acceptance of entertainment choices explicitly designed to support psychological well-being. As mental health conversations become more normalized in society, people become more comfortable choosing entertainment options that openly prioritize mental wellness over other entertainment values. Intergenerational influence flows both ways as younger people introduce older family members to wellness-focused entertainment options, while older adults share wisdom about the importance of leisure activities that promote long-term well-being. This cross-generational exchange accelerates the adoption of wellness entertainment across age groups. Economic market forces respond to and reinforce the cultural shift toward wellness entertainment. As consumer demand for wellness-focused entertainment grows, more companies invest in developing these products, creating a positive feedback loop that increases availability and quality of wellness entertainment options. The future implications of this cultural shift suggest an entertainment landscape where the default expectation is that leisure activities should contribute positively to mental and physical health. Bioadaptive gaming systems represent an early example of how technology can support this cultural evolution by creating entertainment experiences that are both engaging and actively beneficial for psychological well-being. The principles underlying bioadaptive gaming extend naturally into educational applications, creating learning systems that respond to students' emotional states, stress levels, and cognitive load in real time. These educational bioadaptive systems represent a fundamental evolution in how we approach learning, moving from one-size-fits-all educational models toward truly personalized learning experiences that optimize both educational outcomes and psychological well-being. Stress-responsive learning environments recognize that stress and anxiety significantly impair learning and memory formation. When bioadaptive educational systems detect elevated stress levels through biometric monitoring, they can immediately adjust the learning environment to promote calm focus. This might involve changing the visual interface to calmer colors, adjusting the pacing of content presentation, or introducing brief relaxation exercises before continuing with challenging material. Cognitive load optimization ensures that educational content is presented at the optimal level of challenge for each individual student's current capacity. Traditional education often presents information at a pace determined by curriculum requirements rather than students' actual ability to process and integrate new concepts. Bioadaptive systems monitor cognitive load indicators and adjust the complexity, timing, and presentation of educational content to maintain optimal learning conditions. Attention state monitoring helps educational systems recognize when students are engaged versus when their attention has wandered. Rather than simply noting wrong answers or lack of participation, bioadaptive systems can detect the early signs of attention drift through eye tracking, eat patterns, or behavioral indicators. This early detection allows for immediate intervention to re-engage attention before learning is significantly disrupted. Emotional engagement optimization recognizes that positive emotional states enhance learning, while negative emotions impair it. Bioadaptive educational systems monitor students' emotional responses to different types of content and presentation styles, learning what approaches generate enthusiasm and engagement for each individual student. The system can then emphasize approaches that promote positive emotional engagement with learning. Personalized learning rhythm adaptation acknowledges that people have different optimal times for learning and different natural rhythms of attention and energy. Some students learn best in short, intense bursts, while others prefer longer, more gradual exploration of topics. Bioadaptive systems learn each student's optimal learning rhythm and adapt content presentation accordingly. Memory consolidation support uses biometric indicators to optimize the timing of review and practice sessions. Research shows that memory consolidation occurs most effectively when review happens at specific intervals after initial learning. Bioadaptive systems can monitor indicators of memory formation and schedule review sessions at optimal times for each individual student's memory consolidation patterns. Collaborative learning optimization extends bioadaptive principles to group learning situations. The system can monitor the emotional and cognitive states of all participants in a group learning activity, adjusting the group dynamics, roles, and activities to optimize the collective learning experience. This might involve identifying when one student is becoming overwhelmed and needs support, or when the group energy is low and needs activation. Test anxiety management represents a crucial application of bioadaptive educational technology. The system can detect rising anxiety during assessment situations and provide immediate interventions such as guided breathing exercises, calming environmental adjustments, or modifications to test presentation that reduce anxiety without compromising assessment validity. Learning disability accommodation becomes more sophisticated and responsive through bioadaptive systems. Rather than applying static accommodations based on diagnosed conditions, these systems can detect in real time when a student is struggling with particular types of processing demands and provide immediate contextual support. This dynamic accommodation can help students succeed while building their capacity to handle challenging material. Motivation and engagement tracking allows educational systems to understand what types of content, activities, and rewards genuinely motivate each individual student. By monitoring physiological indicators of engagement and satisfaction, bioadaptive systems can identify effective motivational strategies for each student and adjust their approach accordingly. Social, emotional learning integration recognizes that academic learning is inseparable from emotional and social development. Bioadaptive educational systems can monitor students' social-emotional states during learning activities and provide targeted support for developing emotional regulation, social skills, and self-awareness alongside academic content. Teacher support and insights help educators understand their students' learning states and needs more deeply. Bioadaptive systems can provide teachers with real-time information about students' stress levels, engagement, and learning effectiveness, enabling more responsive and supportive teaching practices. However, this information must be presented in ways that enhance rather than replace human judgment and relationship. Burnout prevention becomes crucial in educational applications of bioadaptive technology. The system monitors indicators of academic burnout and overload, encouraging rest, providing stress reduction activities, and alerting educators when students need additional support. This preventive approach helps maintain long-term educational engagement and prevents academic stress from escalating to harmful levels. Long-term learning optimization tracks students' progress and development over extended periods, identifying patterns in their learning effectiveness and adapting long-term educational strategies accordingly. This might involve recognizing that a student learns mathematics concepts best in the morning but excels at creative writing in the afternoon, allowing for optimal scheduling of different types of learning activities. Privacy and consent in educational bioadaptive systems require special consideration given the power dynamics inherent in educational settings and the involvement of minors. Educational applications must include robust privacy protections, clear consent processes that involve both students and parents, and transparent policies about how biometric data is used to support learning. Professional development for educators becomes essential as bioadaptive educational systems are implemented. Teachers need training not just in how to use these systems, but in how to interpret biometric data appropriately, maintain human connection and judgment, and integrate bioadaptive insights with their professional expertise and understanding of individual students. Research and development in educational bioadaptive systems offers tremendous potential for advancing our understanding of how learning occurs and how it can be optimized. However, this research must be conducted with careful attention to ethical considerations, student privacy, and the long-term impacts of bioadaptive educational technology on learning, development, and educational relationships. Bioadaptive gaming systems are pioneering new frontiers in mental health support, offering innovative approaches to therapy and psychological intervention that combine the engaging nature of gaming with sophisticated understanding of individual psychological needs. These therapeutic applications represent a significant evolution in how we approach mental health treatment, providing accessible, responsive, and personally tailored interventions that can complement traditional therapy or provide support where professional mental health services are unavailable. Anxiety management through bioadaptive gaming creates interactive experiences specifically designed to help individuals learn and practice anxiety reduction techniques. These systems monitor physiological indicators of anxiety, such as elevated heart rate, increased skin conductance, or shallow breathing, and respond with immediate interventions integrated into gameplay. A calming exploration game might slow its pace when anxiety is detected, introduce breathing synchronized mechanics, or shift to more soothing visual and auditory elements. Depression support applications focus on activities known to combat depressive symptoms, behavioral activation, social connection, achievement and mastery experiences, and mood regulation. Bioadaptive systems can detect indicators of low mood or energy through various biometric signals and physiological patterns, responding with gameplay elements designed to gently encourage engagement, provide achievable challenges that build confidence, or facilitate social connections with other players who can provide support. Trauma-informed gaming design ensures that therapeutic bioadaptive games are safe and beneficial for individuals who have experienced trauma. These systems are programmed to recognize signs of trauma activation or dissociation and respond appropriately, perhaps by immediately shifting to grounding exercises, providing calming environments, or connecting users with professional support resources. The games are designed to never force unwanted emotional intensity and always prioritize psychological safety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, integration allows bioadaptive games to incorporate established therapeutic techniques into engaging interactive experiences. Games can guide players through cognitive restructuring exercises, help identify and challenge negative thought patterns, and provide practice opportunities for implementing new coping strategies. The biometric monitoring ensures that these interventions are delivered at optimal times when the player is receptive rather than overwhelmed. Mindfulness-based interventions become seamlessly integrated into therapeutic gaming experiences, teaching present-moment awareness, acceptance, and emotional regulation through interactive gameplay. These games can detect when players' minds are wandering or when they're caught in anxious rumination, gently guiding attention back to present-moment experience through gameplay mechanics that require mindful attention. Exposure therapy applications help individuals gradually confront feared situations or stimuli in controlled, safe virtual environments. Bioadaptive systems monitor stress responses during exposure and carefully calibrate the intensity and duration of exposure to maximize therapeutic benefit while preventing overwhelming anxiety. The virtual nature of these exposures allows for precise control and immediate adjustment based on the individual's response. Social skills training benefits significantly from bioadaptive gaming technology, particularly for individuals with autism spectrum disorders, social anxiety, or other conditions that affect social interaction. These games can provide safe practice environments for social scenarios while monitoring physiological responses to different social situations, helping individuals identify their comfort zones and gradually expand their social skills. Addiction recovery support through bioadaptive gaming offers alternative coping strategies and behavioral interventions for individuals in recovery from substance use disorders or behavioral addictions. These systems can detect stress patterns or emotional states that might trigger relapse and provide immediate alternative coping activities, stress reduction techniques, or connections to support resources. Sleep disorder interventions use bioadaptive gaming to address insomnia and other sleep difficulties through relaxation training, sleep hygiene education, and stress reduction activities specifically timed for bedtime routines. These games monitor physiological indicators of relaxation and sleep readiness, adjusting their content and pacing to promote optimal conditions for sleep. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, support applications use bioadaptive technology to provide personalized attention training and executive function support. These games can detect when attention is wandering or when hyperactive impulses are strong, providing immediate feedback and redirection through engaging gameplay mechanics that strengthen attention and self-regulation skills. Eating disorder recovery support requires particularly sensitive application of bioadaptive gaming technology. These systems can provide distraction and alternative coping strategies during difficult moments, help individuals practice self-compassion and body acceptance, and support the development of healthy relationships with food and body image through carefully designed therapeutic gaming experiences. Grief and loss support applications provide safe spaces for processing difficult emotions related to loss and bereavement. Bioadaptive systems can detect when grief responses are overwhelming and provide immediate comfort and grounding techniques, while also facilitating healthy expression and processing of grief emotions through meaningful interactive experiences. Professional integration ensures that therapeutic bioadaptive gaming systems work effectively alongside traditional mental health treatment rather than replacing it. These systems can share relevant data with healthcare providers, with appropriate consent, track progress on therapeutic goals, and provide information that enhances professional treatment planning and monitoring. Crisis intervention capabilities allow bioadaptive therapeutic games to recognize when users are experiencing mental health crises and connect them immediately with appropriate professional resources. These systems include robust safety protocols that prioritize user safety while providing immediate support and connection to crisis intervention services. Personalized treatment planning uses the extensive data collected through bioadaptive gaming interactions to provide insights into individual psychological patterns, effective coping strategies, and treatment progress. This information can inform professional treatment planning and help individuals develop deeper self-awareness about their mental health patterns and needs. Accessibility considerations ensure that therapeutic bioadaptive gaming systems are usable by individuals with various disabilities and across different technological capabilities. These systems must be designed to accommodate diverse needs while maintaining their therapeutic effectiveness and ensuring that mental health support is available to all who could benefit from it. Research and evidence development for therapeutic bioadaptive gaming requires rigorous scientific study to establish efficacy and safety for different mental health conditions and populations. This research must meet the same standards as other mental health interventions while addressing the unique considerations involved in combining gaming technology with therapeutic intervention. Ethical oversight becomes crucial in therapeutic applications of bioadaptive gaming, ensuring that these systems are designed and implemented with the highest ethical standards for mental health intervention. This includes considerations of informed consent, professional boundaries, data privacy, and ensuring that therapeutic gaming complements rather than replaces appropriate professional mental health care when needed. The extended use of bioadaptive gaming systems has the potential to create lasting changes in brain structure and function through the principles of neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize and adapt throughout life. Understanding these long-term effects is crucial for maximizing the benefits of bioadaptive technology while ensuring that any changes support optimal brain development and psychological well-being. Neuroplasticity mechanisms in bioadaptive gaming operate through several key pathways that promote positive brain changes. Repeated engagement with optimally challenging activities strengthens neural pathways associated with problem-solving, attention, and emotional regulation. The consistent achievement of flow states through bioadaptive systems may enhance the brain's capacity for sustained focus and intrinsic motivation by strengthening reward pathways associated with internal rather than external motivation. Attention network development represents one of the most significant areas where bioadaptive gaming can promote beneficial neuroplasticity. The brain's attention networks, including alerting, orienting, and executive attention, can be strengthened through targeted practice within bioadaptive gaming environments. These systems can provide precisely calibrated attention training that adapts to individual capacity, promoting development of stronger, more flexible attention skills that transfer to real-world activities. Emotional regulation circuitry benefits from bioadaptive gaming experiences that consistently help users achieve optimal emotional states. The prefrontal cortex regions responsible for emotional regulation may be strengthened through repeated practice of emotional self-regulation within gaming contexts. Additionally, the integration of biometric feedback with emotional awareness activities can enhance the connection between the brain's emotional centers and its regulatory systems. Stress response system optimization occurs through bioadaptive gaming's ability to provide controlled exposure to mild challenges while maintaining psychological safety. This can help develop more resilient stress response patterns, where the brain learns to activate appropriate stress responses for genuine challenges while maintaining calm in situations that don't require stress activation. The result may be more efficient and adaptive stress response systems. Cognitive flexibility enhancement through bioadaptive gaming can promote neuroplasticity in brain regions responsible for adapting to changing circumstances and switching between different mental tasks. Games that adapt their rules, contexts, and requirements based on player state provide natural training for cognitive flexibility, potentially strengthening neural networks that support adaptability and creative problem solving. Memory consolidation improvements may result from bioadaptive gaming's ability to optimize the conditions for memory formation and retention. By monitoring indicators of memory consolidation and adjusting gaming experiences accordingly, these systems can support the brain's natural memory processes, potentially leading to more efficient memory networks and better long-term retention capabilities. Social cognition development benefits from bioadaptive multiplayer gaming experiences that provide rich opportunities for social learning and empathy development. The brain regions responsible for understanding others' emotions, intentions, and mental states can be strengthened through repeated practice in supportive social gaming environments that encourage perspective-taking and collaborative problem-solving. Executive function strengthening occurs through bioadaptive games that provide optimal challenges for planning, working memory, and cognitive control. These systems can provide personalized training for executive function skills that adapts to individual capacity and development, potentially promoting stronger prefrontal cortex networks responsible for higher-order cognitive skills. Default mode network optimization represents an important but less obvious area where bioadaptive gaming may promote beneficial brain changes. The brain's default mode network, active during rest and introspection, can become more balanced and healthy through experiences that promote mindfulness and present-moment awareness integrated into gaming activities. Individual differences in neuroplasticity responses require careful consideration in bioadaptive gaming design. People vary significantly in their capacity for brain change, optimal learning conditions, and response to different types of stimulation. Bioadaptive systems must account for these individual differences to ensure that neuroplasticity effects are beneficial rather than potentially harmful for different users. Developmental considerations become crucial when applying bioadaptive gaming technology during periods of significant brain development, particularly in children and adolescents. These systems must be designed to support rather than interfere with natural developmental processes, providing appropriate stimulation for different developmental stages while avoiding overstimulation or inappropriate challenges. Long-term monitoring and research are essential for understanding the full implications of bioadaptive gaming on brain development and neuroplasticity. Longitudinal studies tracking brain changes over months and years of bioadaptive gaming use will be crucial for establishing both benefits and potential risks of these technologies. Neuroprotective effects may emerge from bioadaptive gaming's ability to provide cognitive stimulation, stress reduction, and social engagement, all factors known to support brain health throughout the lifespan. Regular use of bioadaptive gaming systems might help maintain cognitive function and protect against age-related cognitive decline, though more research is needed to establish these effects. Transfer of benefits from bioadaptive gaming to real-world functioning represents a crucial consideration for neuroplasticity effects. The brain changes promoted by bioadaptive gaming should ideally transfer to improved functioning in daily life, work, relationships, and other important domains rather than being limited to gaming contexts. Optimization strategies for neuroplasticity effects involve designing bioadaptive gaming experiences that maximize beneficial brain changes while minimizing potential negative effects. This includes considerations of optimal session length, frequency of use, types of challenges provided, and integration with other activities that support brain health. Risk mitigation ensures that neuroplasticity effects from bioadaptive gaming are consistently beneficial. While neuroplasticity represents the brain's capacity for positive change, it also means that negative experiences can create harmful changes. Bioadaptive gaming systems must include safeguards to prevent potentially harmful neuroplasticity effects from occurring. Future research directions in neuroplasticity and bioadaptive gaming include studies of optimal use patterns for different populations, investigation of how bioadaptive gaming interacts with other factors affecting brain development, and exploration of how these technologies might be used therapeutically to address various neurological and psychological conditions. The integration of neuroplasticity considerations into bioadaptive gaming design represents an ongoing process of learning and refinement. As our understanding of brain plasticity advances and our ability to monitor brain changes improves, bioadaptive gaming systems will become increasingly sophisticated in their ability to promote beneficial neuroplasticity while protecting against potential harmful effects. The emergence of bioadaptive gaming technology represents a fundamental shift in the gaming industry's economic model, moving from attention capture and time consumption metrics toward value creation based on genuine user well-being and psychological benefit. This transformation has far-reaching implications for how games are developed, marketed, distributed, and monetized, creating new opportunities while challenging established industry practices. Value proposition redefinition shifts the gaming industry's core offering from entertainment and escapism toward comprehensive well-being support and personal development. Bioadaptive games compete not just with other entertainment options, but with wellness services, educational programs, and mental health resources. This expanded value proposition allows for premium pricing models based on the holistic benefits provided, rather than just entertainment value. Revenue model evolution moves beyond traditional one-time purchases and advertising-based models toward subscription services focused on ongoing well-being support. Users may pay monthly fees for access to bioadaptive gaming systems that continuously evolve and improve based on their individual needs and responses. This model aligns company incentives with user well-being rather than just engagement time or advertising exposure. Development cost implications initially increase as bioadaptive gaming requires sophisticated biometric integration, machine learning algorithms, and extensive testing across diverse populations. However, these upfront investments can lead to longer product life cycles and stronger user retention, potentially improving long-term return on investment compared to traditional game development cycles. Talent acquisition and workforce development require new combinations of skills that span gaming, psychology, neuroscience, and biomedical engineering. Game companies increasingly recruit professionals with backgrounds in mental health, biometric sensing, and human factors research. This interdisciplinary approach creates new career paths and educational requirements within the gaming industry. Platform integration strategies involve partnerships between gaming companies and health technology providers, wearable device manufacturers, and wellness service platforms. These partnerships create ecosystem approaches where bioadaptive gaming integrates seamlessly with other aspects of users' health and wellness routines, creating additional value and competitive advantages. Market segmentation evolves to include wellness-focused demographics alongside traditional gaming segments. Marketing strategies shift to emphasize health benefits, stress reduction, and personal development rather than just entertainment value. This opens gaming to new customer segments who previously viewed gaming as frivolous or potentially harmful rather than beneficial. Regulatory compliance costs increase as bioadaptive gaming systems must meet standards for medical devices, mental health interventions, and biometric data protection. Companies must invest in legal compliance, ethical review processes, and safety testing that exceeds traditional gaming industry requirements. However, this compliance also provides credibility and trust that can justify premium pricing. Research and development investment becomes crucial for maintaining competitive advantage in bioadaptive gaming. Companies must continuously study user responses, improve adaptation algorithms, and validate the effectiveness of their systems. This ongoing R&D requirement creates barriers to entry, but also drives innovation and improvement across the industry. Insurance and healthcare integration represents a significant economic opportunity as health insurance providers and healthcare systems recognize the potential cost savings from preventive mental health interventions. Bioadaptive gaming systems that demonstrate measurable health benefits may qualify for insurance coverage or healthcare provider partnerships, creating new revenue streams. Intellectual property considerations become complex as bioadaptive gaming involves patentable biometric technologies, psychological intervention methods, and machine learning algorithms. Companies must balance patent protection with industry-wide standards and interoperability requirements. Cross-licensing agreements become common as no single company can develop all necessary technologies independently. Quality assurance and testing costs increase significantly for bioadaptive gaming systems. Traditional game testing focuses on functionality, performance, and user experience, while bioadaptive games must also undergo psychological safety testing, biometric accuracy validation, and efficacy studies. This comprehensive testing requires specialized expertise and extended development timelines. International market considerations involve navigating diverse regulatory environments, cultural attitudes toward mental health and biometric monitoring, and varying privacy laws across different countries. Companies must adapt their bioadaptive gaming systems to comply with local regulations while maintaining effectiveness across different cultural contexts. Competitive dynamics shift as traditional gaming companies compete with wellness technology companies, mental health service providers, and consumer electronics manufacturers entering the bioadaptive gaming space. Success requires not just gaming expertise, but also credibility in health and wellness domains, changing the competitive landscape significantly. User acquisition costs may initially be higher for bioadaptive gaming due to the need for education about benefits and features that differ significantly from traditional gaming. However, the higher value proposition and longer user engagement typical of wellness-focused products can justify higher acquisition costs through improved lifetime value. Technology infrastructure requirements include significant investments in biometric sensor integration, real-time data processing capabilities, and machine learning infrastructure. Companies must build or partner for capabilities that extend far beyond traditional gaming technology stacks, requiring substantial capital investment and technical expertise. Customer support evolution involves training support staff to handle questions about biometric data, psychological effects, and wellness outcomes in addition to traditional technical support. Customer service becomes more consultative, helping users optimize their bioadaptive gaming experience for their individual needs and goals. Metrics and analytics transformation moves beyond traditional gaming metrics, like engagement time and retention toward wellness-focused metrics such as stress reduction, sleep quality improvement, and mood enhancement. Companies must develop new analytics capabilities and research methodologies to measure and validate these wellness outcomes. Partnership ecosystems expand to include healthcare providers, wellness coaches, mental health professionals, and research institutions. These partnerships provide credibility, research validation, and access to new distribution channels while requiring companies to navigate complex relationship management and revenue-sharing arrangements. Long-term industry sustainability depends on demonstrating genuine value and avoiding the perception that bioadaptive gaming is merely traditional gaming with wellness marketing. Companies must invest in rigorous research, transparent reporting of outcomes, and ethical business practices to build and maintain trust in this emerging market segment. The widespread adoption of bioadaptive gaming and psychologically optimized leisure activities has the potential to create profound societal changes that extend far beyond individual entertainment choices. These changes could reshape how we think about mental health, productivity, social relationships, and the role of technology in human flourishing, creating both opportunities and challenges that society must thoughtfully navigate. Mental health normalization accelerates as bioadaptive gaming makes psychological wellness tools accessible and socially acceptable to mainstream populations. When stress management, emotional regulation, and mindfulness practices become integrated into popular entertainment, the stigma around mental health concerns diminishes. This normalization could lead to earlier intervention for mental health issues and greater general awareness of psychological well-being as a crucial component of overall health. Productivity paradigm shifts may occur as society recognizes that psychologically optimized leisure actually enhances, rather than detracts from work performance and life satisfaction. The traditional view of leisure as unproductive time that must be minimized could evolve toward understanding leisure as essential investment in psychological capital that improves performance across all life domains. Social inequality considerations emerge as access to bioadaptive gaming technology could create disparities in psychological well-being support. If these technologies remain expensive or require advanced devices, they could exacerbate existing mental health inequalities. Ensuring equitable access becomes a crucial social justice issue that may require policy intervention or subsidized access programs. Educational system transformation might occur as schools recognize the potential of bioadaptive technology for supporting student well-being and learning optimization. Traditional educational approaches that ignore students' psychological states could seem increasingly outdated compared to bioadaptive systems that continuously optimize learning conditions for individual students' needs. Healthcare system integration could fundamentally change how we approach mental health prevention and treatment. If bioadaptive gaming systems demonstrate significant mental health benefits, they might become part of standard preventive healthcare recommendations, potentially reducing the burden on traditional mental health services while improving overall population well-being. Workplace culture evolution may occur as employers recognize that employees' leisure activities significantly impact workplace performance and satisfaction. Companies might begin providing access to bioadaptive gaming systems as part of employee wellness programs, or adjust work schedules to accommodate optimal leisure patterns for different individuals. Family dynamics transformation could result from bioadaptive gaming systems that support healthy family interaction patterns and emotional regulation for all family members. Family leisure time might become more intentionally therapeutic and bonding focused, with technology facilitating rather than disrupting meaningful family connections. Community formation around bioadaptive gaming could create new forms of social connection based on shared wellness goals rather than just entertainment preferences. These communities might provide social support for mental health maintenance and create positive peer pressure toward psychologically healthy leisure choices. Cultural value shifts toward prioritizing psychological well-being over material achievement or social status could be accelerated by widespread access to tools that make well-being tangible and achievable. Society might develop new markers of success based on psychological health, emotional intelligence, and life satisfaction, rather than traditional metrics of achievement. Privacy norm evolution becomes necessary as bioadaptive gaming normalizes the sharing of psychological and biometric data for personal benefit. Society must develop new norms around psychological privacy, consent for emotional data sharing, and the appropriate use of intimate personal information by technology companies and other organizations. Regulation development needs to keep pace with bioadaptive gaming technology to ensure consumer protection while allowing innovation. New regulatory frameworks may be needed that address the unique challenges of technology that can influence psychological states, potentially including oversight similar to that applied to medical devices or pharmaceutical interventions. Research ethics advancement becomes crucial as bioadaptive gaming systems generate unprecedented amounts of data about human psychological patterns and responses. Society must develop ethical frameworks for psychological research that balances scientific advancement with protection of individual privacy and autonomy. Generational differences in adoption and acceptance of bioadaptive gaming could create tensions between those who embrace psychologically optimized leisure and those who prefer traditional entertainment approaches. Bridging these generational divides while respecting diverse preferences becomes an important social challenge. Economic implications extend beyond the gaming industry to include potential healthcare cost savings from improved population mental health, productivity gains from better psychological well-being, and new economic sectors focused on psychological optimization and well-being technology. Social contract evolution might be necessary as bioadaptive gaming demonstrates that technology can actively support human flourishing rather than just providing convenience or entertainment. This could lead to new expectations about technology's role in society and individual well-being, potentially influencing policy decisions about technology development and deployment. Cultural diversity considerations ensure that bioadaptive gaming systems respect and accommodate different cultural approaches to mental health, emotional expression, and leisure activities. Global adoption requires sensitivity to cultural differences while maintaining the core benefits of psychologically optimized leisure. Long-term human development implications raise questions about how widespread use of bioadaptive gaming might influence human psychological development over generations. Will people develop greater emotional intelligence and stress resilience, or might they become overly dependent on technological support for psychological regulation? Environmental consciousness intersects with bioadaptive gaming as society recognizes that psychological well-being and environmental health are interconnected. Psychologically optimized leisure might increasingly emphasize connection with nature and environmental stewardship as components of overall well-being. Democratic participation could be influenced by bioadaptive gaming's potential to improve emotional regulation, critical thinking, and social empathy. Citizens who are psychologically healthier and more emotionally intelligent might make more informed political decisions and engage more constructively in democratic processes. Scientific advancement acceleration occurs as bioadaptive gaming systems provide unprecedented opportunities to study human psychology, learning, and development at scale. This could lead to major breakthroughs in understanding human nature and developing more effective interventions for various psychological and social challenges. As we approach the culmination of our exploration into bioadaptive gaming, it's important to consider the emerging possibilities and future directions that extend beyond the 2035 horizon. The trajectory of bioadaptive technology suggests even more profound integrations with human psychology and daily life, opening possibilities that challenge our current understanding of the boundaries between technology, consciousness, and human experience. Brain-computer interface integration represents perhaps the most significant future direction for bioadaptive gaming. While current systems rely on external biometric monitoring, future developments may include direct neural interfaces that can read brain activity with unprecedented precision and provide feedback directly to neural networks. This could enable bioadaptive systems that respond to thoughts and intentions before they manifest in detectable physiological changes, creating gaming experiences that feel truly telepathic in their responsiveness. Artificial intelligence consciousness simulation might enable bioadaptive gaming systems to develop genuine understanding of human psychological states, rather than simply responding to patterns in data. These AI systems could potentially develop empathy-like responses, creating virtual companions that provide emotional support with a depth and authenticity approaching human relationships, while maintaining the advantages of perfect availability and infinite patience. Collective consciousness gaming experiences could emerge as bioadaptive systems become sophisticated enough to monitor and coordinate the psychological states of large groups simultaneously. Imagine gaming experiences where hundreds or thousands of participants' biometric data is integrated to create collective flow states, shared emotional experiences, or group problem-solving sessions that leverage the combined psychological resources of all participants. Generational adaptation systems might develop that understand how psychological needs and optimal gaming experiences change throughout the human lifespan. These systems could provide continuity of support from childhood through old age, adapting not just to immediate psychological states, but to developmental stages, life transitions, and the evolving needs that accompany aging and personal growth. Genetic personalization integration could incorporate genetic markers that influence psychological traits, stress sensitivity, and learning styles into bioadaptive gaming systems. Understanding individual genetic predispositions could allow for even more precise personalization of gaming experiences, optimizing not just for current psychological state, but for genetic tendencies towards certain types of psychological responses and learning patterns. Environmental synchronization might enable bioadaptive gaming systems to coordinate with smart home technology, weather data, seasonal changes, and other environmental factors that influence psychological state. Gaming experiences could adapt not just to your internal state, but to external conditions that affect your mood, energy, and psychological needs. Predictive mental health modeling could develop to the point where bioadaptive gaming systems can identify early warning signs of mental health challenges weeks or months before they become clinically significant. These systems could provide preventive interventions that help maintain psychological well-being and prevent the development of more serious mental health conditions. Cross-generational gaming experiences might emerge that facilitate meaningful connections between different age groups through bioadaptive systems that optimize interactions between people with different psychological needs, communication styles, and cultural backgrounds. These systems could help bridge generational divides while providing mutual benefit to participants of all ages. Consciousness exploration tools could develop that use bioadaptive gaming principles to facilitate safe exploration of altered states of consciousness, meditation practices, and spiritual experiences. These tools could provide guided journeys into different aspects of consciousness while maintaining safety and promoting psychological integration of these experiences. Trauma integration therapy through bioadaptive gaming might become sophisticated enough to provide professional-level therapeutic interventions for trauma recovery, PTSD treatment, and emotional healing. These systems could offer accessible, personalized trauma therapy that adapts to individual healing processes while maintaining the safety and efficacy of professional therapeutic interventions. Creativity enhancement systems could use bioadaptive technology to optimize psychological conditions for creative expression, artistic development, and innovative problem-solving. These systems might monitor the brain states associated with creative flow and provide environments and experiences that facilitate breakthrough creative experiences and artistic development. Empathy development, acceleration through bioadaptive social gaming could help address societal challenges related to polarization, prejudice, and lack of understanding between different groups. Gaming experiences that provide deep perspective-taking opportunities while monitoring empathetic responses could help build more compassionate and understanding societies. Longevity and cognitive preservation applications might use bioadaptive gaming to maintain cognitive function and psychological well-being throughout extended human lifespans. As medical advances extend human longevity, bioadaptive gaming could help ensure that longer lives are also psychologically fulfilling and cognitively vibrant. Planetary consciousness development could emerge through bioadaptive gaming experiences that help individuals understand their connection to global systems, environmental challenges, and the well-being of the planet as a whole. These experiences could foster the kind of planetary awareness and responsibility needed to address global challenges like climate change and environmental degradation. Interplanetary adaptation systems might eventually help humans adapt psychologically to life in space, on other planets, or in artificial environments that differ significantly from Earth. Bioadaptive gaming could provide psychological support for space travelers and colonists, helping maintain mental health in challenging and isolated environments. Wisdom tradition. Integration could incorporate insights from various philosophical and spiritual traditions into bioadaptive gaming systems, providing exposure to different approaches to psychological well-being, meaning-making, and personal development. These systems could help individuals explore diverse wisdom traditions while adapting the experiences to their personal psychological needs and cultural background. Post-human psychological support might become necessary as human enhancement technologies, artificial intelligence, and other transformative technologies change what it means to be human. Bioadaptive gaming systems could help individuals navigate the psychological challenges of human enhancement, AI integration, and other transformative changes to human nature and society. The implications of these future directions extend far beyond gaming or entertainment toward fundamental questions about human nature, consciousness, and the role of technology in human flourishing. As we develop increasingly sophisticated tools for understanding and influencing human psychology, we must continue to prioritize human autonomy, dignity, and genuine well-being, while remaining open to the transformative possibilities that bioadaptive technology might offer. As we reach the conclusion of our gentle journey through the landscape of bioadaptive gaming in 2035, it's time to synthesize the various threads we've explored and consider the broader implications of these technologies for human flourishing, societal development, and our understanding of the relationship between technology and consciousness. The convergence of insights from our exploration reveals bioadaptive gaming as more than just an advancement in entertainment technology. It represents a fundamental shift toward technology that serves human psychological needs with unprecedented sophistication and sensitivity. These systems embody a new paradigm where technology doesn't just respond to human commands or provide predetermined experiences, but genuinely understands and adapts to human psychological states in real time. The psychological implications are profound and far-reaching. Bioadaptive gaming systems offer the possibility of technology that consistently promotes flow states, emotional regulation, stress reduction, and psychological growth. This represents a dramatic departure from current technology that often creates stress, addiction, or psychological dysfunction. The ability to reliably achieve optimal psychological states through interactive technology could fundamentally change how we approach mental health, education, therapy, and personal development. The democratization of psychological optimization through bioadaptive gaming makes sophisticated wellness tools accessible to broad populations regardless of their economic status, geographical location, or access to professional mental health services. This democratization has the potential to reduce mental health disparities and provide psychological support to individuals and communities that have historically lacked access to such resources. The integration of multiple disciplines, psychology, neuroscience, computer science, game design, and ethics, demonstrates the emerging need for interdisciplinary approaches to technology development. Bioadaptive gaming succeeds precisely because it combines insights from these diverse fields, suggesting that future technological development will increasingly require this kind of interdisciplinary collaboration and understanding. The personalization capabilities of bioadaptive gaming point toward a future where technology adapts to individual differences rather than requiring individuals to adapt to technological constraints. This represents a more humane approach to technology design that respects and accommodates human diversity in psychological needs, learning styles, cultural backgrounds, and personal preferences. The social implications extend beyond individual benefits to include potential improvements in empathy, social connection, and community well-being. Bioadaptive gaming systems that facilitate positive social interactions and emotional understanding could contribute to addressing societal challenges related to polarization, isolation, and lack of empathy between different groups. The educational transformation possibility suggests that bioadaptive technology could fundamentally improve how humans learn and develop throughout their lives. By optimizing psychological conditions for learning and adapting to individual learning patterns, these systems could help unlock human potential in unprecedented ways while making learning more enjoyable and sustainable. The ethical considerations we've explored highlight the crucial importance of developing bioadaptive gaming technology with strong ethical frameworks, privacy protections, and respect for human autonomy. The power to influence human psychological states carries significant responsibilities that must be carefully managed to ensure these technologies serve human flourishing rather than exploitation. The long-term implications for human development suggest that widespread use of bioadaptive gaming could influence how humans develop psychologically over generations. Regular experience with optimally challenging, psychologically supportive environments could potentially lead to greater emotional intelligence, stress resilience, and psychological well-being across populations. The relationship between human and artificial intelligence evolves through bioadaptive gaming toward more collaborative and supportive interactions. Rather than AI systems that simply execute commands or provide information, bioadaptive gaming demonstrates the possibility of AI that genuinely understands and supports human psychological needs, suggesting new models for human-AI collaboration. The future directions we've explored indicate that bioadaptive gaming represents just the beginning of a broader transformation towards psychologically intelligent technology. The principles underlying bioadaptive gaming, real-time psychological monitoring, adaptive response, personalization, and optimization for human well-being, are likely to extend into many other areas of technology and human experience. The research opportunities created by bioadaptive gaming systems provide unprecedented opportunities to understand human psychology, learning, development, and social interaction at scale. The data generated by these systems, when used ethically and with appropriate privacy protections, could accelerate scientific understanding of human nature and lead to breakthroughs in psychology, neuroscience, and related fields. The integration challenges highlight the need for careful consideration of how bioadaptive gaming integrates with existing institutions, social structures, and cultural practices. Successful implementation requires sensitivity to diverse cultural approaches to psychology, privacy, and technology, while maintaining the core benefits these systems can provide. As we contemplate the gentle tapestry of possibilities that bioadaptive gaming represents, we find ourselves at a unique moment in human history where technology has the potential to truly serve human psychological flourishing. The bioadaptive gaming systems of 2035 represent more than entertainment. They embody hope for a future where technology enhances rather than diminishes human psychological well-being, where artificial intelligence serves human consciousness with empathy and understanding, and where the digital and psychological realms merge in service of human flourishing. The journey toward this future requires continued commitment to ethical development, interdisciplinary collaboration, and centering human well-being in all technological advancement. As we've seen throughout our exploration, the potential benefits are extraordinary, but they can only be realized through thoughtful, responsible development that prioritizes human dignity, autonomy, and genuine psychological health. In closing, bioadaptive gaming in 2035 offers us a vision of technology that doesn't just compute or entertain, but genuinely cares for human psychological needs. It suggests a future where the boundary between technology and therapy, between entertainment and wellness, between artificial and human intelligence, becomes beautifully blurred in service of human flourishing. This vision calls us to approach technological development with wisdom, compassion, and deep respect for the complexity and beauty of human consciousness. The gentle revolution of bioadaptive gaming has already begun in research laboratories and development studios around the world. By 2035, these seeds of technological empathy may have grown into a forest of possibilities that transform not just how we play, but how we live, learn, grow, and connect with one another in an increasingly complex world. The future of gaming is not just about better graphics or more immersive worlds. It's about technology that truly understands and nurtures the human heart and mind. As we conclude this peaceful journey through the future of bioadaptive gaming, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with technology and entertainment. How might the principles we've explored, psychological awareness, adaptive response, and genuine care for human well-being, apply to your current choices about gaming and digital engagement? If this exploration has resonated with you, I encourage you to like this video and share it with others who might find value in considering how technology could better serve human psychological needs. Your thoughts and experiences matter deeply. Please share in the comments how you envision technology supporting your own mental wellness and personal development. For more content exploring the intersection of technology, psychology, and human flourishing, consider subscribing to continue these gentle journeys into the possibilities that await us. Together, we can shape a future where technology truly serves the fullest expression of human potential. Sleep well, dream deeply, and may your own journey towards psychological well-being be filled with flow, connection, and peace.